So we know Mel does I'm losing my word, not residential, commercial properties. Yeah, and so my question is, I guess you've been capital raising in the past a lot. Do you find social media is helping you with capital raising, or it's a different ball game?
I think social media has a role in capital raising. I don't think you capital raise over social media. I think that's dangerous. If you're thinking about doing that, be careful what you're representing, careful of the guarantees and what you're promising. But I think it is a means for engagement. It is a means to amplify your brand, get the word out. Definitely let people know you have these type of opportunities that could benefit them. So there's a place in capital raising, but you wouldn't capital raise over social media. That's something that you would take offline. You use social media to nurture relationships over time, and then eventually when they're comfortable with you, you would do that offline, and then really reveal to them what the actual contractual obligations are, the expectations, and what the strategies would be in play for each opportunity that you present them. So be careful how you use social media, but there's definitely a place for social media in capital raising. It's at the outset, just trying to get people's attention, letting them know what it is that you do.
And in terms of capital raising with live people, not on social media, where did you find the most success? Like, is it a certain network group? Is it types of professions, or like where do you find the high net worth people to invest?
I think you probably heard that the closer you are to the money, the more chance of success you're going to get in raising that capital. So that usually happens in situations like this, where we're all having dinner and we're talking about the opportunities that we see out there. And then there's usually someone that says, hey, tell me more about that. And then from there, you take that to another meeting where we can have that discussion a little more candidly. So at that point, hey, you remember the time that we broke bread together, or we had a pizza together, and you asked me what it is that I do? Well, let's have a meeting. And then maybe that's a Zoom call, and you say, well, this is probably a more appropriate time where I can disclose to you what I do for other people and how I can help you do the same. So it's these environments here where you're in person that gives us the most traction. Other than that, typically it's people that have seen what I'm able to do with real estate investments, that have taken part in it in one way or another. Either they are the lawyer, or they are the mortgage provider, or they are the contractor that was working on the project, that say, hey, what's it take to get in on the next one? And that's where you get it. But that takes proof of concept. But at that point, you got a lot of momentum. So I get a lot of the investors coming from having been around the first few projects, they want in on the next one. So again, in person, having those discussions one-on-one.
Great. Yeah, so you scale up on the other previous projects, and that's how you build on it.
But it's always been in person for me, and to create those relationships is one thing, but to nurture them, it does take time. Because it takes time for people to come to a point of comfort and wanting to do business with you, but they have to trust you. And building that trust takes time.
So in terms of building relations, like, let's say you meet somebody new, how do you go from there? Like, you give them a call, you follow up, you take them out to tea or whatever it is, or
exactly that.
Okay.
So I could meet someone at a barbecue. I could meet someone at their kid's hockey game. I could meet someone that was introduced to me by a friend. They find out what it is I do. They're curious about what I do, and then we either meet for a coffee afterwards, or have a bite to eat again with the same friend that may have been an investor of mine, or we do a Zoom call. Really, it's just a matter of growing the relationship, but it does take time. No one's just going to give you their money without investigating what it is that they're putting their money into, and whether they have that trust and that confidence that you are capable of producing the outcomes that they want and you're promising to them.
So you constantly keep in touch with them by what method? Like, you give them a WhatsApp call, or you send a newsletter here and
personally,
there?
I try to reach out to people in person as much as I can. Having said that, the reality is there's only so much time in a day. So the second best thing would just to be reaching out through a phone call. And then on a quarterly basis, I try to reach out to them either by an email, a personalized email, to say, hey, just wondering what you're up to, what are your plans for the year or the rest of the year. Other than that, it's just constant communication by newsletter, or it could be email, sequence of emails, just letting them know what I'm up to, and that they can reach out to me anytime that they feel like, when it's convenient for them, to ask me more questions. So you want to do it omni-channel, right? So you want to do it using social media, you want to do it email, you want to do it text message, voicemail message, and getting to leverage all that technology in your favor would be really helpful, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So that's how I try to keep in touch with people.
That's great. Thank you so
Hopefully
much.
that helps.
Yes, thank you.